In last lecture, we have covered chapter 21, that is relating to recruitment and selection. That was chapter 20. No, that was relating to motivation. So in today's lecture, we're going to discuss about chapter 22, learning and training at work. Learning and training at work. I mean, this chapter is all about learning and training. In how learning and training process work in the organization. I mean, there are two topics. One is learning and other is training. What is learning? Learning is a process of acquiring knowledge by working, mean through experiences, which can change behavior of any individual. So learning is a process of getting knowledge through experiences that can change behavior of individuals. It includes acquiring new skills, knowledge, or attitude, or a combination of all three. Obviously, after learning, you will be able to having a new skill or knowledge that can change your attitude. Attitude means feeling and behavior towards particular task. The pace, speed of learning change with the familiarity and effect known as the learning curve. Mean how learning curve affects. Suppose we are having x-axis and we are having y-axis. X-axis mean number of days. And y-axis mean, say, learning in pages. Suppose on day one, you are reading how many pages? 10 pages. 10, 20, 30, 40. And here are days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As there are more learning days you are consuming, your speed of learning, mean reading pages on daily basis, will improve automatically. Mean on day one might be you have read 10 pages. On day two might be you have read 20 pages. On day three, it will goes on 30 pages. On day four, it will goes on 40 pages. And this is the maximum you can read in a day. So learning curve will work like that. Means at start it increasing and then it remain constant according to maximum capacity of the learner. So the pace of learning change with familiarity and effect known as learning curve. The shape of this curve depend upon the type of work or task and the individual. But it increasing on day by day basis and then become constant at its maximum. The importance of learning at workplace mean why learning is important. So learning is important for our employee as well as for the employer. Some employer, often small businesses, see investment in learning in the workplace as a drain of their resources, mean they don't consider spending on employee learning is beneficial. But big organization spend their resources, spend their money on learning process. So, however, work-based learning has a number of key advantages. Mean what are the advantages of learning? It can lead to increased competence, understanding, self-esteem, and morale, leading to improved productivity. I mean, through learning, there are chances of increasing competence of employees, their understanding, their self-esteem, mean feeling about themselves will be enhanced, mean they will feel their importance, and their morale motivation will be high. That can increase productivity of the employee. It may improve the level of creativity and innovation. Obviously, if you are having the knowledge about a particular field, so there will be chances of creativity and innovation. I mean, you will think beyond that. I mean, you will try to do something new. You will find new ways of doing the task. If you are not having knowledge about particular field, you cannot involve yourself in innovation and creativity. First, you need to acquire knowledge, then you can move towards innovation and creativity. People who enjoy learning are more likely to be flexible in time of constant change. They will adopt new changes. They will shift from one type of work to another type of work just to acquire new skills. And if workers are not given learning opportunities, there is a risk that they will feel undervalued and motivation will be down. If motivation will be down, they will be not working willingly, productivity will be lower. So what is the importance, advantages of learning? It can enhance understanding, competence, and motivation. It can create chances of creativity, innovation in the organization. Employee will be flexible, like they will switch from one task to another. Otherwise, there will be low motivation and low productivity. So many management writers have stated that if you want to develop an organization, then you must develop its people. How you can develop your people? Through providing learning opportunity, skill development. What is a learning organization? Learning organization are those organizations who create or who adopt different steps for employee learning, in who always try to put their staff into learning process. So the learning organization describes any organization that facilitates the learning of all members and continuously transforms itself. Typically, they generate and transfer knowledge throughout the organization, learn from others and from the past experiences, tolerate risk and failure as a learning opportunity, and have a systematic, ongoing, collective, and scientific approach for solving problems. I mean, what is learning organization? That transfer knowledge, that learn from others and from past. They tolerate experience, mean they take risk as a learning, mean there will be opportunity to learn something new in case of any problems. And they have a system of solving a problem through new ways. How the learning process work in the organization? So there is a writer called Cobb. They have explained experiential learning cycle. Mean they said learning is a process and this process will be implemented through a learning cycle. And according to Cobb, people can learn by working in the organization. There are two types of learning, formal and informal. Formal learning and informal learning. Formal learning means by sitting in a room, you are acquiring new knowledge through a coach, through a trainer, by sitting in a room, by joining any institute. That will be called formal learning. What is informal learning? Informal learning means employees are learning new things, acquiring new skills, new knowledge during organization, during their work. Mean it is not formal, it is informal. Mean you haven't spent send employees to any coaching center. They are learning, they are acquiring new skills from their managers during the work. That is called informal learning. And Cobb prefer informal learning is more effective as compared to formal learning. Mean employee learning should be informal, mean during the work, because they will be learning, but they are not sparing extra time for this. Mean while doing routine tasks, they are acquiring new skills and new knowledge as well. So Cobb suggested that learning is a series of steps based on everyday. So Cobb suggests that learning is a series of steps based on everyday experience. Meanwhile, working in your routine life. He suggested that classroom learning, mean formal learning, is false. And the actual learning comes from actually undertaking a task and learning from them. Mean actual learning come within the work rather than through formal system. And Cobb identified four learning stages, meaning learning process. There are four stages involved. Concrete experience, reflective observation, active experimentation, and abstract conceptualization. So there are four stages involved in a learning process: concrete experience, reflective observation, active experimentation, and abstract conceptualization. What is concrete experience? Concrete experience means individual have started work without taking knowledge. Mean he has decided, okay, I will start work and I will learn by facing the problems. This is called concrete experience. Reflective observation means you are learning, you are acquiring knowledge by looking at someone else, how he is working. You are learning through that, and then you are applying in your work. That is called reflective observation. So in concrete, you are not depending on others. You have started the task, you have started the work, and what is in your mind? I will learn by facing the problem during work. While in reflective observation, you are observing someone else who is expert and how he is working. After observation, you are applying that observation in your work. That is called reflective observation. What is active experimentation, abstract conceptualization? We're gonna discuss later on. First, just check what is concrete experience. You may decide to start using the new computer system without any training and guidance. Mean I will learn from my mistake. I will learn by working. What is a reflective observation? Having failed to accomplish everything you wanted, so you spend some time identifying the problem you had and which task you were unable to perform successfully on the new system. Mean if you have failed performing by yourself, so you decided to look someone who is expert in this task, to observe someone who is expert in this task, mean how he is performing, and after observation you are applying in your task. What is abstract conceptualization? You have started the work, and if you are having problem, you are facing any problem, you are reading through the rule book. Mean what the rules says. Mean you are reading through the instruction manual. Mean how to perform this work. Mean during working, while facing problem, you are reading books. That is called abstract conceptualization. And what is active experimentation? Active experimentation mean first you are taking knowledge through the books, and then you are starting work, mean applying that knowledge. So there are four stages. First, concrete experimentation, meaning without taking knowledge, you have started the work. Okay, I will learn through my mistake. Reflective observation mean first you have observed some expert how they are working, and then you are applying that observation in your work. Abstract conceptualization mean in case of problem, you are reading instruction manual, mean book, mean what the rules says, how to tackle this problem. But active experimentation, before starting the work, you are taking knowledge through the books, and then you are going to start. What is the difference between abstract conceptualization and active experimentation? In both, you are taking knowledge through books, but in active, you are taking knowledge before starting the work. In abstract conceptualization, you are taking knowledge through books after starting the work in case of facing problems. So these are the four stages involved in learning process. There are four styles of learners. According to Cobb, there are four styles of learners: divergent, assimilative, convergent, and accommodative. Divergent, assimilative, convergent, and accommodative. Who are divergent? Those who start the work without taking knowledge, they are called divergent. Who are assimilative? Assimilative are those people who observe other and then apply that observation into the work. Who are convergent? Who are taking knowledge from the books, who are taking knowledge from the books in case of facing problems, and who are active, accommodative, who first take the knowledge from the books and then start working. Divergent, assimilative, abstract conceptualization mean convergent, or active experimentation mean accommodative. So Cobb argued this is an ongoing loop. Mean first you start the work by yourself, then you observe, then in case of facing problem, you see the rule book or the best technique. First you take the knowledge and then apply. So Cobb argued this is an ongoing loop as using the system gain, they will trigger new problems or issues, new concrete experiences which trigger the cycle again. Note that it didn't matter where you start on the cycle, either by first taking knowledge, either by observing or without taking knowledge. So you could start at the abstract conceptualization stage and begin by reading the instruction manual before using the system. Alternatively, you could watch someone else, mean observing the system first, bringing at the reflective observation stage. So Cobb also identifies 4 different learning styles adopted by individual learners, as shown on the diagram. Based on where they start on learning cycle, each style is a combination of 2 elements from the cycle. That's why they have mentioned divergent here. In who are divergent, who will start work and then observe others. Who are assimilative, who observe and taking knowledge from the books. Who are convergent, who is taking knowledge from the books, and who is accommodative, who is taking knowledge from the books in case of problem. So what are the 4 styles? Divergent, feeling and watching, mean observing. These people prefer to watch rather than do, reflecting on what they are seeing from the various angles before trying it for themselves. Mean divergent are starting work and observing others. Mean first they are observing others and then starting the work. They are divergent. Who are assimilative, watching and thinking, mean having both combination. These individuals take a concise, logical approach. They prefer good, clear explanation rather than undertaking practical example. And then they need time to think thorough what they have seen. Mean first observe, start in case of facing problem. They will checking the rule book. They are checking the instruction manual. And convergent, thinking and doing, me reading the books, reading the instruction manual. Prefer to apply ideas and enjoy testing ideas out in practice to see if they really work. Mean first reading and then applying to see whether the reading from the book, the knowledge from the book is actually working or not. And accommodative, doing and feeling, me reading books and then applying. Strong preference for concrete experiences and active experimentation, hands-on approach. Hands-on mean best approach. What is first reading books and then applying that knowledge. Divergent, observing and applying. Assimilative, observing and reading books in case of problems. Convergent, reading books and accommodative, first reading and then applying the knowledge. So this is the model of learning by Cobb. There is another model on learning process that is defined by Honey and Mumford. And Honey and Mumford has also explained 4 styles of learning. What are their 4 styles of learning? They have named divergent as a reflector, assimilative as a theorist, convergent as a pragmatist, and accommodative as activist, who are reflector, who perform, who reflect as per observation, who are theorists, they will learn from the books, who are pragmatists, they will learn from the book first and then apply, and who are activists, learning and working. So there are four styles according to Honey and Mumford. Activists involve themselves fully without bias to new experiences. They are open-minded, enthusiastic, consistently searching for new challenges, but are bored with the implementation and long-term consolidation, and they enjoy learning through games, competitive teamwork, task, and role play. Mean without taking knowledge, they have started the work. Okay, I will learn through mistake. Reflector prefer to step back to ponder and observe others. Mean first observing others and then applying that observation. And a theorist reading through the books, mean adopts and integrated information in a step-by-step logical way. They prefer to maximize certainty and feel uncomfortable with the subjective judgment, literal thinking, and anything flippant. The theorists prefer activities that explore the interrelationship between ideas and principles, mean they try to find different ideas and principles and then applying. Who are pragmatists are keen to try out ideas, theories, and techniques to see if they work in practice. In first taking knowledge through the books and then applying. They are essentially practical, down to earth people, like making practical decisions, act quickly on ideas and attract them, and tend to be impatient with open-ended discussions. The pragmatists prefer learning activities that are as close as possible to direct work experiences. So according to Honey and Mumford, who are activists who start the work without learning, mean learn through examples, learn through mistakes. Who are reflector, who observe others and then implement. Who are theorists, who read theory in case of problem. And who are pragmatists, who first learn through books and then apply that knowledge. So according to Cobb, there are four styles of learning: divergent, assimilative, convergent, and accommodative. And according to Honey and Mumford, there are four styles of learning: activist, reflector, theorist, and pragmatist. Implication of the learning model, mean how we can apply these model, or what are the issues in applying these models. Most individuals exhibit a clear preference for one style of learning and many struggle to switch between them. Mean normally people are having one style and they learn through that style. There are very few who switch from one style to another, and while switching, they struggle. People with such a clear style preference will therefore tend to learn more effectively if learning is geared to their personal preferences. If you are having one style of learning, then you can learn more effectively. For instance, according to Cobb, people who prefer a simulative learning style will not be comfortable being thrown in at deep and without notes and instruction. Mean you cannot put them into work straightforward. No, assimilative, learn through the books and then apply the knowledge. People who prefer to use accommodating learning style are likely to become frustrated if they are forced to read a lot of instruction rule books. Hands-on experience as soon as possible. No, they try to prefer start work without knowledge, and we will learn through mistake during work. So a feature of Honey and Mumford model is that it provides suggestions about the best way for individual to learn. The most effective learning methods are different for each learner style. I mean, which style is most effective? It depends upon the learner style. I mean, how he want to learn. Like activists have a practical approach to training, are flexible and optimistic. I mean, they don't need any training. They don't need to read books. They prefer practical problems, enjoy participation and challenges, and are easily bored and have a dislike of theory. They must have hands-on training. I mean, we wanna learn through work rather than formal training, reading books, or observing animals. Theorists require their learning to be programmed and structured. Mean first we need to read books, take knowledge from the books, and then we will apply. Designed to allow time for analysis and provided by people who share the same preference for ideas and analysis. Reflectors who observe others need an observational approach to training. They need to work at their own pace, slow, cautious, and non-participative, where conclusions are carefully thought out. They do not find learning easy, especially in a rushed, because they need to observe others first, and then they will apply that observation knowledge during work. Just give me 2 minutes.
Oh, yes, sir.
Sorry. So activists prefer learning through work, learning during work, learning by facing problems. Theorists prefer structured learning process, programmed learning process. Mean first we will study, we will take knowledge, then we will apply. And reflector prefer there should be some kind of training through observing other expert, mean how they are working. I will observe and then I will apply. And pragmatist, they prefer learning through books, through instruction manual during work. Mean not before starting work, mean starting work and learning through books during work. So need to see direct value and link between training and real problems. Mean if they will face problem, they will see books, what the books are saying to tackle that problem. And the aim to do things better, they enjoy learning new techniques and tasks and are good at finding improved ways of doing things. What are training and development and education? Mean difference between training, development and education. Training we have studied. It's a process of acquiring new skills, new knowledge to change behavior. That is called training. The planned and systematic modification of behavior. Meanwhile, there is training to change behavior of employees through a process of getting new knowledge skills. What is education? Education is the activities which aim at developing the knowledge, skills, moral values, and understanding acquired in all aspects of life rather than a knowledge skills related to only limited field of activity. These are education is not for changing behavior. It is only relating to develop a knowledge or skill, and this is not relating to a particular field. It could be relating to so many fields. While training is a systematic process of acquiring new skills, new knowledge to change behavior. And what is development? Development is a growth of realization of a person's ability. Mean growth in one person's ability is called development. So the growth or realization of a person's ability and potential through conscious or unconscious learning and educational experiences mean how development can be made through learning and education. But it is what? It is a growth in one person's ability. So knowledge is a development of knowledge and skills for an individual. Learning is a process of acquiring new skills, new knowledge to change behavior. And what is development is a growth in one person's ability through training and education. The training and development process mean how training and development process work. We have learned how learning process work according to Cobb. There are 4 stages, there are 4 styles. And according to Honey and Mumford, there are 4 styles. Now we are moving towards training. How training and development process work. What are the benefits of training and development? There are some benefits of training and development. Benefits for the individual, mean employee, and for the organization. What are the benefits for employee? Improvement in skills and qualification through training and development in education. Increase confidence and job satisfaction. Job satisfaction means higher motivation that will result into higher productivity. What are the benefits of a training and development for organization? Is organization providing training and development opportunities for employee? What benefit organization will achieve? Increase motivation of employee that will lead to higher productivity, mean higher output. Increase competence and confidence, meaning a higher quality and fewer mistakes. Mean product services quality will be improved. There will be fewer mistakes. Low staff turnover. What is staff turnover? What is staff turnover? Regular in and out
Regular.
of staff. Regular in and out of staff. That is called staff turnover. That is not a good sign for the business. Why employees leaving the organization and organization need to employ new employees to fill the vacancies?
So
Might be
more
they are
staff
not
over
happy
is
with the organization.
less good. Like it's not good for them.
Yeah, high staff turnover is not good for the company because the new staff, you have to train them.
Yes,
Until
sir.
they are trained, they will not be able to provide
So more
quality
resources are
services
used.
for the business. So if you are providing training and development to the employee, their morale satisfaction will be high, and this will result into low staff turnover, saving the organization time and money. Because to appoint new employees, to hire new employees, it requires some time, recruitment time, as well as cost. Skilled workforce. If you are providing training and development, your workforce will be skilled, leading to more innovation. Obviously, if they are having more skills, more knowledge, there are chances of innovation and better customer experiences. Mean customer will be happy because through training and development, staff will be able to produce high quality goods and services. So just a reading. Don't need to cram these things. Just start reading, because in MCQs, they can ask, examiner can ask what is the advantage of training and for the individual or for the organization. So due to the obvious importance of training and development, a systematic approach should be taken in order to maximize its effectiveness. I mean, organizations should have a systematic approach for training and development. And what is that systematic approach? There is a step-by-step process. First, you need to identify of training needs. First, you need to identify training needs. Mean whether there is a need for training or not, and what kind of training is required. Then you need to set objective of our training. In how many days we need to develop this skill, how what are the skills we're gonna develop, mean after developing the skills, what we're gonna achieve, what will be the objective. Thirdly, you need to program, design, and delivery, mean you need to provide training through a systematic way. And fourthly, you need to evaluate and validity of training program, mean whether that skill has been developed through training or not. So first, you need to identify the need for training, whether training is required or not, and what kind of training, mean what skill we're gonna develop. Second, you need to set objective for the training, mean what we're gonna achieve in employee after training. And then you need to provide training, meet delivery and design. And fourth, you need to evaluate whether that skill has been developed or not. How you can identify training needs? You can identify training needs through four methods. One is called formal training need analysis. Formal training need analysis. What is this formal training need analysis? Involve identification of the skill, knowledge, and experience needed for a particular job and comparing this to the skill, knowledge, and experience of the current job holder. Mean checking these are the skills required to do this job. And then you are checking in the employee whether he is having that skill experience or not. If he is lacking any experience, you are providing training. You are generating that skill through training. If the job holder is lacking any of these required skills, this is referred to as a learning gap. I mean, you need to identify gap in your employees, which can be filled using training. And the training need analysis may also be triggered by external changes. Like if there is a new technology in the industry and organization want to implement that technology, this means to work on new technology, machine or computer system, you need to provide training to the employees. So that is called formal training need analysis, because employees haven't worked on new technology before. This means to work on new technology effectively, they need a training. This means training is required. The second method of identifying training need is performance appraisal. Mean you are checking performance of their employees, and if they are not performing as per expectation, this means they require some training so that they can perform as per the expectation. So most line manager appraise their staff or carry out performance review at least annually. And during this, manager can review past performance, discuss the employees appraise, aspirations and use this to identify possible training and development opportunities in the future. Meaning, if any employee haven't shown performance, then you are discussing with the employees why you haven't shown this performance, and he will highlight his problem, and you will be providing training to overcome those problems. That is called performance appraisal. Third is observation. Observation means you are observing how your staff is doing, and if they are not doing properly, this means there is a need for training. What kind of training? That you have observed. So there may be sign that staff require additional training such as poor productivity or a higher number of mistakes. This is evidence that inadequate training lead to workers failing to meet production targets, leading to frustration. And this means, in addition, managers should monitor their labor turnover, absenteeism. If these are high, this means staff might not be feeling well with the organization. Might be they do not how to perform their work, they are making mistakes, that's why they are leaving. So you have decided to train them so that they can reduce mistake and stay in the organization. And the fourth method for identifying training need is organizational strategy. What is organizational strategy? Organization have a plan, like every year we need to provide some kind of training, and according to that plan they have decided, okay, in first year we will provide this training, in second year we will provide this type of training, in third year we will provide this type of training, so that employees growth can be established over the years. So training and development must be linked to the overall business strategy, mean according to planned work. There should be senior support for the training program, and it must be seen to support the need of the organization itself. Training merely for the sake of training is likely to be waste of time and money. I mean, it shouldn't be just a training. No, it should be relating to developing new skills, new knowledge in the employees. So what is the process of training? In a training process, there are four stages involved. First, you need to identify training needs. How you can identify training needs? Through formal training need analysis. What is a formal training need analysis? What is a formal training need analysis? Mean you have identified what are the skills required to do the job and what skills your employee is having. If he is lacking, this means you need to improve those skills through training. Or through performance appraisal. What is performance appraisal? If any employee has not performed as per expectation, this means you need to train him so that he can produce performance. Observation means you are seeing how employees are working, and if they are not working properly, you have identified the issues and providing training. And organization strategy means it is according to planned. Mean in first month what skills need to be trained to the employees, after 6 months what kind of skills is required to be trained, and after 1 year what kind of training is required for the employees. You are providing training as per the planned procedures that has been predefined. What is the second step? After identifying training needs, you have to set objective for training. Mean what we gonna achieve after the training, what kind of skills we gonna develop in the employees. So this stage examine what the proposed training program is supposed to accomplish, what impact do we want to have on the staff. Objectives need to be clearly stated, measurable and specific, outlining the effect that training should have the performance and ability of the employee being trained. Meaning you have to set a clear objective that should be measurable and specific. That during evaluation you can check whether has achieved or not. And then you need to deliver training. How you can deliver training? You can deliver training through formal training courses, mean by sending the employees to a coaching center, or through coaching and mentoring. Coaching is a formal system of training, mentoring is an informal system of training. Both done through your line manager, your supervisor. Or you can provide a training through computer-based training. mean, instead of sending employee to any classroom physical, you have provided the employee any videos so that he can watch the videos and take training. Or self-managed learning mean you have provided some books to the employees. Okay, read that and you will get new skills and new knowledge. Groups may have slightly different training and development methods. Mean you can provide a training to a group of employees through lectures, by discussion with the group members, by case study and role play through the group members, or by playing business games through the group members. You can provide training to the group through lectures, discussions, case study and role play, and through business games. The organization must decide whether to implement the training externally through any college, university, or training center, or in-house. If in-house is chosen, infrastructure and staffing must be carefully considered. Mean whether your organization environment is suitable for training, whether there is any space available where you can provide a training to the employees. And after design and delivery of training program, you need to evaluate and validate training program, mean whether the objective of training has met or not, whether there is a need of further more training or not. Once complete evaluation of the training program aims to assess whether it was successfully and whether training achieved its objective. It will also enable the organization to ensure that it is using the right tools for training. And it has suggested that there are 5 levels at which evaluation can take place, mean how you can evaluate the training objective have met or not. There are 5 levels of evaluation. First is reaction of the trainee to the training, their feeling about how enjoyable and useful it has been. Mean if the trainee mean employee has enjoyed through the training, is having a positive feeling about the training, this means training objective has been met. And if they are not feeling well about the training, they are not enjoying a training, this means you need to change the training process. How you can check whether employee is having happy feeling and enjoyable feeling about training? Through questionnaire. Mean after the training, you can ask the employee to answer through a questionnaire, and through answer of the questionnaire, you will be able to identify whether the training program was effective or not. Mean if the answers of questionnaire are positive, this means employee have enjoyed the training, they are having positive feeling, mean training objective has been met. Or you can evaluate a training through learning. Mean what new skills and knowledge have been acquired, or what changes in the attitude have taken place as a result of training. And how you can check this through attainment test. Mean ask the employee to work according to that knowledge. Or you can make interview from the employees. Mean you can ask what you have learned. If they are saying, okay, we have learned this, we have learned this, we have learned this means training objective has been met. But if after providing training, you are asking them question about the knowledge provided to them through training and they are unable to answer that, this means the objective of training is not met. Or you can evaluate a training through job behavior. In how employee is applying that knowledge into his job. If he is applying properly, this means training objective has been met. How you can perform job behavior through observation. Or career development. Career development means if employee is progressing, is promoting towards next level, this means its previous training was effective. Or you can observe employees while working. If they are working as per the training knowledge provided, this means training objective has been met. Or you can evaluate training through organization. What is through organization? If organization is functioning properly, mean they are producing high quality goods and services. This means the objective of training is met. Training was effective. How you can check through organization, you can check performance of different departments, whether they are meeting their targets, they are achieving their goals, they are meeting required output productivity. This means the training was effective. Or you can evaluate a training process through ultimate value. Ultimate value mean if organization is achieving high profitability, is moving towards growth. This means the previous training has resulted into positive outcomes. Mean training was effective because through training, employee have worked better. That's why organization performance, organization profitability, growth has increased. So how we can evaluate a training, whether the training objective has been met or not through reaction, mean feeling and enjoyability of the employees. How we can judge this through questionnaire. Learning, learning mean to take interview from the employees, whether they have learned something, whether they are having knowledge or not. Through job behavior mean we can observe employees while working, whether they are working as per provided training or not. Through organization goals, whether departments are meeting their goals, they are producing high quality goods, productivity is enhanced. Or through ultimate value mean profitability or business growth, mean whether sale has been increased, profitability has been increased after providing training. This means training was effective. So whatever evaluation method is used, it should be done before, during, and after the training event. Mean this evaluation should be done before the training, during the training, and after the training. Before the training, you have to measure what are the results without providing the skills so that you can compare with after the training results. So before the event, we'll clarify the existing skills, knowledge, and attitude, and what new skills you need to put through training. During training, you need to check whether employees are behaving positively towards training or not, whether they are feeling good or not, whether they are enjoying the training or not. Because if they are not feeling good, they are not enjoying, this means this training process is not going smooth. You need to change it. So during event, we'll identify a rate of learning, allowing a trainer the pace to learning. Mean whether the training process should put to slow or training process should go on its speed as it is or not. Through evaluation, you will be able to identify whether employees are learning skills through this speed. This means this speed is effective. But if they are not getting knowledge through this speed, this means you need to slow down the speed of training. Instead of covering knowledge in 1 day, you have to cover that quantity of knowledge in 2 days. And after training, you have to evaluate to see whether the output has been achieved, objective has been met of training or not, whether there is a need for further training or it's enough. So evaluation should be done before the training to identify what skills we required, during the training to identify whether the speed, pace of training is appropriate or not, and after the training, whether more training is required or the skills have been developed. The role of management in the learning process means management have to play important role in the training, learning, development process. And from management who have to perform main role, the HR department have to perform the main role because they are having record of each employees, they are having record of each employee qualification, experience, skills. So they need to identify what skills are required in employees and at what time, and they should proceed that process of training. The HR department has overall high level responsibility for training and development. And this will often mean that they will need to create a framework, mean systematic approach for job appraisal and analysis of learning gap, Identify when and if training is needed within the organization, because normally when organization employ a new person, they prepare a plan how we can train them, how we can develop different skills in the employee, like what skills we need to produce after 1 month, what we skills we are required after 6 months, what skills are required after 1 year, so that after 1 or 2 years we can promote the employee to next level. But without training, skill development, you cannot promote. So there should be a system. And who should implement that system? The HR department, human resource, whose role is to manage the human resources, mean employees. Design career pathway for employees, mean when we need to promote employees to next level. And according to them, they have to develop a training plan. Informing employee about learning, training, development opportunities that are available to them. Not only HR department, your line manager under whom you are working, he should also take responsibility for employee training and development. Because if you are working under a manager, he should try to enhance your knowledge during the work. So while the HR department takes a high level view of learning, line manager are likely to have responsibility for helping HR department resources. Obviously, your line manager will highlight the learning gap. He will highlight what skills you are lacking, and then he will inform the HR department to make a plan for training of these employees so that that skill gap can be eliminated. So they may involve identifying learning and training needs for a group of department they are responsible for, monitoring the abilities and knowledge level of individual workers within their team, offering informal training such as coaching and mentoring during the work. Ultimately, the learner themselves have a responsibility to seek out learning and development. If learner feel he is lacking some skills, he should consult the line manager or HR department so that they can plan, they can arrange a program for your learning, training, development. So in the organization, what is the role of management in learning, training, development? HR department have to identify or prepare a plan, and line manager should also identify the skill gap and inform HR to prepare a plan for training. Chapter has ended. Question number 1. Mandeep works for a sale department. The process for raising a sale invoice have recently changed. He has asked to watch another member of staff who has been trained into the new process raise a sale invoice before he attempted to do it himself. He is observing first and then applying the knowledge according to Cobb. Where is Mandeep?
Sir, the software.
According to Cobb, where is Mandeep starting on the learning cycle? Concrete experimentation without learning, active experimentation, reading through the manual books, reflective observation. Yes, this is because what is D? Taking knowledge through books and then applying. Number 2, J is an employee at Y company. He has recently been sent on a course by his company to help him learn about basic accountancy principles. Formal training, formal. He
Uh,
is sent to the coaching center.
yes, sir.
This is an example of education, reskilling, training, or development. Education
Uh,
is not specific to a field,
and I think it's not development as well.
because development is a combination
Yes,
of
sir.
growth. So this is
It's
what training,
training. Yes,
formal
sir.
training, process of developing skills to change behavior. Number 3, H has been given a new role at her workplace. To prepare, she makes sure that she has read all the relevant documentation and technical summaries relating to her new role. Mean reading books first and then applying. According to Cobb, what stage of learning is each beginning at? Active experimentation, abstract conceptualization, reflecting observation. He is not observing, he is not starting before learning. So what is this?
Mm.
This is abstract conceptualization. Abstract conceptualization.
Yes, sir.
Number 4, a theorist learn best from activities where they can observe other people. No, they don't
Mm,
observe.
no, sir.
Theorists observe or don't observe?
So first one, no, sir.
No, they need structured systematic approach. Being given time to think things over.
No, sir.
No. Having time to prepare.
No, sir.
Structured learning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, structured learning. D option.
So option D, yes, sir. Option D.
Number 5, development is the planned and systematic modification of behavior through learning events, programs, and instructions which enable individual to achieve the level of knowledge, skill, and competence to carry out their work effectively. Is that development or training?
Sir,
Development
yes,
is a
sir. It's not.
growth.
It's training.
Development is a growth in ability through training and education. So this is the definition of training
Training.
rather than development. So this is false.
False.
Consider the following statement. Formal training need analysis is always triggered by changes that are external to the organization, such as changes in legislation. No, this is not always through external factor. It could be due to internal factors as well. So this is false. So
Can you
chapter,
repeat, sir, this last one? I did not
formal
understand.
training analysis, we have discussed there are some methods to identify training
Yes, sir.
needs. So formal training analysis was a method to identify training needs
Yes, sir.
where we see what are the skills required to do a job and what skills individual is having. You know,
Yes, sir.
like you have implemented a new system, new technology, and then you are providing a training. So he's saying it is always through external organization factor. Like if law has been changed, this means we need to train the employees. It happens, but not only due to external factors, it is due to
Yes,
within
sir.
the organization factors as well. That's why it
Yes,
is
sir.
false. It's not always due to external factors. So let's take a break. After break, we will start next chapter. Not only start, we will finish.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Stopping this recording so that we can record.